Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Raphael Dawkins with a Comeback Radio. And we are live. Okay. So where we at? Hit that like button on your way in. Okay. So let's get that down. Where are we? Where are we? There we are. We are live. And it's Ask Rick. But Rick ain't here. Where's Rick? Where is Rick? Should I send him a message? I just sent him an email. I don't know. I sent him the link. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at what's going on here. All right. We got plenty to be getting on with. If Rick joins us, he joins us. If he don't, then I guess, I don't know. It was anniversary yesterday. Maybe he's recovering. Maybe he's recovering from his anniversary yesterday. Happy anniversary to you, Rick. Okay. When you watch the playback. Okay. So let's go. Let's get into this from the TOP. Link is in the chat. I believe. Yep. Link is in the chat. So go on ahead and jump in as we chop this thing up. Okay. So where are we? Who's in the building? We got the Special K. The Big Dust of Fury looked like he was on the Devil's Dandruff. OMG. Yeah, he had some rather unsavory things to say to Alexander Usyk. So we'll have a little look at that later. But first, let us do the sound check before we get any further. There's the sound check. Okay. Where are we? Let's kill the music and listen. Where are we? Let's kill the music and listen. Boom. Excellente. Excellente. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. I accept. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay. Where are we going to start? Where do we begin? So much to discuss. So much to discuss. Where are we going to start? Where are we going to start? Okay. Let's have a look at this list here. Let's come out of that. Let's get into this. Okay. Stop sharing that. And start sharing this. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's make sure you can hear this nice and clearly. And let's hear the words of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder was very nice. He was very kind in the press conference. He had some very kind words for Anthony Joshua. What did he say? He said something like, "Hey, I hope to meet you. I hope that we're gonna be fighting. I hope to meet you. But even if we don't, I wish you the best. I wish you very, very well." That's what he said in the press conference. But things done change. Things done change when he got in front of the camera, away from the press conference. Let's have a listen. Let's have a listen to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, go.
He asked for $50 million and we provided that for him.
Hold on. Let's actually share the visuals. Let's go ahead and share the visuals. Hold on. There we are. Okay. Deontay, tell them how you really feel. We heard what you said at the press conference. Start poll. Will Triple D quit against Miller? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll ask who wins. Who wins? That's a valid question. Poll. Oh, where's the music? Let's bring the music back before I get into the quotes. Who wins? Triple D. Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller, don't get him confused Triple D points. Triple D points. Big Baby Miller. Points. Triple D KO. Big Baby Miller KO. Okay, the poll is up. The poll is up. Who wins? Triple D points. Miller points. Triple D KO. Miller KO. Okay. So get your votes in. The poll is up there. Okay. What's this? Raphie, what's your take on this fight being 6 weeks away? That means there will only be 6 weeks of VADA testing, especially with fighters like Big Baby Miller on the card. Well, Big Baby Miller's going to be tested. That's in the contract. That's a no-brainer. Every fight that Big Baby Miller fights, well, I mean, in any respectable territory, he will be tested. I think actually VADA put stipulations in. VADA put stipulations in that Miller would be tested periodically, even while he was banned. Even while he was banned. So one would have to assume, I mean, if Miller tests positive again, I mean, his career is over. You know what I mean? So if he tests positive again, his career is over. Over. So remember, he still owes Eddie Hearn some money. Still owes Eddie Hearn some money. So, yeah. I think the chances of Miller testing positive again, I mean, it'd be crazy if he did. Absolutely crazy. As for the rest of the card, with only 6 weeks notice, well, with only 6 weeks notice, they didn't expect the fight. They weren't expecting to fight. Nobody was expecting to fight. But some people were preparing. We know that Joshua was in camp. Well, not camp, but was training with Ben Davidson. We talked about that. It's funny how many hot topics we touched on in the previous boxing talk with Raphie. It's crazy. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. First hour, we touched on almost all the talking points. Almost all of the talking points surrounding this card. It was crazy. We touched on Anthony Joshua training with Ben Davidson. Everybody's saying that Ben Davidson, you know, Joshua ain't going to be working with Derek James, and that's possible. That's quite possible because Derek James over in America, Texas, Fort Dale, Texas. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fort Dale, Dallas, or something like that. Fort Worth, Dallas, something like that. Texas. Yeah, but Joshua's over here, and I don't think he'll be going over. Well, Eddie Hearn said, was it Eddie Hearn who said that he don't think Joshua will be going over to America to, you know, he'll be England. He'll be training in England, and then he'll fly out. He'll fly out to Saudi. You know, what is it? 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks before. 2 weeks would be preferable. Dang. I hope I don't make no silly mistakes. Mind you, I don't think it's a high altitude, so that won't be so critical. Won't be so critical, but he's fought there, what, 2 times already? He's already fought there 2 times. Who's his opponent? Wallin. Has Wallin fought over there? Wallin hasn't fought over there. Wilder hasn't fought over there. Parker fought over there, didn't he? So Parker fought over there a few. Well, when did he fight over there? Did Parker fight over there on the undercard? The Fury undercard? Was that over? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Damn, I was looking for some common opponent with Wilder and Parker. I was looking for a common opponent. I mean, in days gone by, you would have definitely had a common opponent with guys. But I can't find a common opponent with Deontay Wilder and Parker. As a matter of fact, rat-a-tat-tat. Look, how ridiculous is that? Does that not speak? Does that not speak of Wilder as a champion? His paucity of top opponents. Good Lord, man. Good Lord. Well, let's try and do this. Let's try and find a bloody common opponent between. Let's try and connect them back at least. Let's just try and connect them. Let's find somebody who connects them. For goodness sakes. This is a sad testimony. A sad testament. Is this a sad testament to the guy who defended his belt, like how many times? 10 times. And he's up there. We're talking about another top 10, and the guy who's been in the top 10 for years, and we can't find a common opponent. Let's see if we can do this somehow. Let's see if we can find a common opponent. Razor, no. Tyson. Hold on. Yeah, I can make the link because Tyson Fury fought Chisora. Tyson Fury fought Chisora, and Chisora did fight Parker. Chisora, and he fought Dillian White too. Okay, so this is funny, yo. This don't look good on Deontay Wilder at all. So at least Parker fought Derek Chisora a bit back. And he fought Dillian White a bit back. But when we go over, so that's common opponent with Parker. No Tom Schwartz on his record, or Francesco Pianetta, Safiri, Lad, Klitschko, no. Or at least we got Derek Chisora. Hold on, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to make my way back to who? Trying to make my way back to Parker. Chelsea Parker. Okay. What was I trying to do? Trying to get back to what was the point of that exercise? Surely there was a point to that exercise. What was the question that I was addressing? What's your take on this fight? Yeah, 6 weeks. Oh, what was the point of? Oh yeah, it was to see if Parker had fought on the undercard. What was this? What was this bout? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, his last fight was in Riyadh. Oh, dang. As we speak, it's now up on BoxRec. The Deontay Wilder is next for Parker. So yeah, Parker's last fight was in Riyadh, Saudi. October 28th. What's that? October, November, December. What's that? 7 weeks. 7 weeks from now. Yeah, something like 7 weeks, 6, 7 weeks. So yeah, he knows the sketch. He's done it before, did it last time. So do they need to travel to acclimatize? A couple of weeks acclimatization should do it. He'll just do the same thing he did last time. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. Okay, so who are we looking at? What are we looking at? Yep, the poll is up. Smash that like button on your way in. Okay, Big Baby Miller, where is he? Let's have a look. Let's stay with Box Rec. We're looking at Daniel Dubois. Let's find a common opponent. Let's do this by finding common opponents. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can find Daniel Dubois this way. We're going through Chisora. Top 10 guys should have common opponents. Who are we looking for? Daniel Dubois. Tyson Fury. Joseph Parker. Alexander Usyk. Okay. Common opponent. Derek Chisora. Alexander Usyk. They've all got to connect. They've all got to connect. Daniel Dubois. But Deontay Wilder's not connecting. This is evidence of Deontay Wilder's excessive cherry picking. Deontay Wilder don't connect. There's no connection other than with Tyson Fury. You don't connect. You can't connect the dots with Deontay Wilder. Very difficult. Okay. Jarrell Miller. Big Belly Miller is a joker fight. Well, here's the thing. What's the poll saying? Okay. People are going, how many voters? Okay. Thus far, people are liking Daniel Dubois for the KO. But let me give you my take on it. Daniel Dubois, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle because Big Belly Miller, he just keeps on going. He just keeps on going. He can take a licking and keep on ticking. The guy's like, what, 300 pounds, 6'4". He's a big lump. Big, hard to move lump. Hard to move, and he keeps on ticking. So it's going to be a race against time. It's going to be a race against time for Daniel Dubois to get him out of there. I don't see Daniel Dubois getting him out of there. I really don't see it happening. If it does, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Draw. Unanimous decision with Joey Dubois back in, 2013. It's the biggest name on his record. He beat Gerald Washington. Barclays Center, Brooklyn, 2017. When Gerald Washington retired. He beat the durable Marius Wach by TKO in the 9th round. He beat Johan Duapas, unanimous decision, 12 rounds. He took out Thomas Adamek That's a common opponent. He's got a common opponent with Deontay Wilder through Thomas Adamek and Johan Dubois and Gerald Washington, but not common opponents. Oh, I think he has got a common opponent in Bogdan Dinu, who he beat in 4 rounds. Let's have a look at Bogdan. Pretty sure that Daniel Dubois faced Bogdan. Bogdan. There's Daniel Dubois on this. Oh, there he is. Yeah, fought Bogdan in 2021. And he finished him in 2 rounds. That's in 2021. 3 years earlier, Miller finished him in 4 rounds. Lucas Brown, 2023. Oh, damn. 2023 took Miller 6 rounds to get rid of Lucas Brown in 2023. That was his last fight. Lucas Brown lost to Miller. Lost to Paul Gallen, the rugby player in Australia, in Wollongong. Lost to David Allen in 3 rounds. Paul Gallen in 1 round. Dillian White in 6 rounds in 2018. Big Baby Miller. What do I think? Big Baby Miller. I think he's dangerous. I think it's a dangerous fight. I think it's a dangerous fight for the fella. Where are we? AW1 is up in the building. What's up, Raphie? AJ was not playing yesterday. Wasn't taking no check. Wasn't taking no check. Was taking no chat. Thank you for the donation. Making the chat litty the way we like it. And in comes a man like the John D. Lee. How do you do, John D. Lee?
Good evening, Raph.
How do you do, my friend?
I'm good, thanks.
Marveloso. We were just talking about, there are a bunch of things to talk about. We were just talking about Jarrell Miller. Dangerous opponent, in my opinion, for Daniel Dubois for the cardio issue.
I think there's a lot of interesting things about that fight. I've seen Daniel get put down by 2 cruiserweights in his last 2 fights.
Uh-oh.
When he's not the bigger man in the ring, it's only ever happened once, and that was against Joe Joyce. But what big punches has Miller been in with? I think it's really and like, what kind of shape is he in? I mean, he looked pretty fast yesterday.
Well, if the chest is bigger than the waist,
just about.
Yeah, I think if the chest is bigger than the waist, you know,
like you can be fat and strong.
Yeah,
but can he maintain the cardio level without supplements? I mean, my man got done for EPO.
Yeah.
You know, is he going to be able to do all that volume of punching if he's being tested? I mean, maybe he won't be tested. I don't know. It's
definitely going to be tested. That's in the contract.
Yeah, but when we've looked at everything that's not run by Matchroom, there's reluctance to pay for the testing. Now,
I think it's a VADA condition. I think it's a VADA condition when he got banned. There were stringent conditions. One, he had to test regularly
Is he actually on a 365 watch program outside of just like
right. He was being tested. He had to be tested regularly even when he was banned for his ban period. And I think the stipulations were that he had to be tested for each and every one of his fights henceforth going forward. And I think it's been said, who said it, can't remember, but somebody official, I think with Queensbury or the other side, Dubois. Well, Dubois is with Queensbury, yeah. So it was from Queensbury that they've insisted contractually that Miller has to be tested.
Okay, I'm going to believe it. I mean, after his first comeback fight, after the AJ fight, he tested again, didn't he? That's when he used the Viagra excuse.
That's right. He did.
But
that's when the stipulations came down, I think.
Okay, so let's assume that he's going to pass all those tests.
Okay, let's assume that.
There's going to be a real question mark about what his gas tank's actually going to be like.
There is.
So it's intriguing.
Yeah.
For me, it's one of the better fights on the card because there's some not very good fights on that card.
Mm.
But it's a fun card. I'm going to pay the money. I mean,
yeah,
I'm going to watch it. Yeah. There's a lot to like about it, and a lot of it's undercard fights to be critical of. So, as an undercard fight, I think that's a pretty good fight. I actually don't know who I think is going to win. I can see them both being terrible. I can see there being a really clear-cut knockout victory to either side. I mean, it is a great fight for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Daniel puts it on him, I mean, there's nothing to say that he's got a good chin. Who's the biggest puncher he's actually been in with?
Looking through his resume, he fought Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown's got a bit of a dig on him, but he got beat. Lucas Brown got beat by TKO in the 6th round. Looking for a big puncher. That's not Bogdan Dinu. That's not Thomas Adamek. That's not Johan Dubois. That's not Marius Wack. Has Gerald Washington got a big punch? Not really. He's not particularly known. Hold on, but he did knock out. He did starch Hellenius.
Yeah, but Hellenius was found to be chinny a long time ago.
Mm.
When he was being touted as being the next Klitschko,
yeah,
he had a bad stoppage at some point around that time.
Yeah,
which is before this whole crop of heavyweights came along.
Mm.
So whilst I think Hellenius does hit hard, he's a bit of a glass cannon. He's a bit like Wilder.
He's a bit of a glass cannon for real.
Yeah. So I don't know that substantiates that somebody who hasn't really got many knockouts in Washington is actually a big puncher. Knocking out Hellenius isn't necessarily. I mean, it's a good win.
Yeah.
From where Washington was in his career at the time.
Mm.
I don't necessarily think that indicates a lot of power.
Yeah. Well, he lost to Miller. Washington lost to Miller. He retired in the 8th round. Retired. There's a lot of people retired against Miller.
It's the volume.
Yeah.
Like he wears people out with volume. I think Miller smothers his own work.
Mm.
And I question that he can actually get any rotation into his punches because he's so fat. He just throws a lot of arm punches, doesn't he?
It's all arm punches, yeah. Primarily. Miller, we got TKO, Lucas Brown, Cardenas, TKO, Brockham. When was that? 2022. Brockham. That was a 10 round unanimous that went the whole way. 10 round. Hold on. Miller deducted 1 point in the 4th round. Okay. Bogdan Dino, we got him out of there in 4. Thomas Adamek got him out of there in 2. Johan Dubois, that was in 2018. We're going back now. That was a unanimous decision, 2018. That was 12-round unanimous decision versus Johan Dubois. This is an interesting fight.
Yeah, that is a good fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Definitely.
criticism of this fight whatsoever.
Mm.
I think they're both flawed fighters, but stick them in and see who comes out the winner. I'm quite happy with that.
Stick them in and see what happens. What's going on here? Big Baby Miller, feather fisted, always his output, and chin that got him the win. His output and chin to Peds.
But as we've said, I think out of everybody you've listed off there, Lucas Brown probably is the biggest puncher that he's been in with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no recommendation at all. If Wilder beats what 33-3? If Wilder beats 33-3 Parker, it will be the best win on Wilder's resume. 33-3. Well, actually, if you look at who's Parker's fought, then you might be damn right. You might be damn right.
There's a very strong argument it'd be the best win.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the best win. Yeah, the best win. That's what he stipulates. Yeah.
Which fight do you want to talk about next, Raphie?
Well, let's look at let's get the thing up. Let's bring that down and bring the poster up, and we can have a little looky. Where are we? Boom, boom, boom. I was at college today. Lunchtime. There's lots of people, you know. Lots of people. Interesting. Where are we? Who is next? Who's next? Okay, well, let's look at who's Frank Sanchez fighting. Clipped off there. That's clipped off. I'll get that intel in a second.
Isn't that Ajit Kabayal?
Ajit Kabayal. Who's fighting Ajit Kabayal? I'll get that list. Frank Sanchez. He's fighting Junior Farr, isn't he?
Okay, so it's got to be the Russian kid.
Yeah, Makhmudov is fighting Kabayal. Well, let's talk about I'll tell you Frank Sanchez versus Junior Farr. Well, that's pretty much a gimme for Sanchez to me. Junior Farr, we saw him get taken out. Oh, we've seen Junior Farr get pretty much mashed a couple of times. Who was it that put him out? Who starched him to death. Not
really paying attention to him. I've never taken him seriously on any level.
Yeah, I think if we go back, we're playing a game of finding the common fighter. All the top 10 guys should have fought each other, but when we try to play the commonalities, finding the thread that binds the top 10 guys together, and you try to do it through Deontay Wilder, it just don't work.
Well, yeah, that's not the route to go, is it?
It don't work. Deontay Wilder ain't fought nobody apart from a recovering Tyson, Luis, an unproven Luis Ortiz, who also ain't fought nobody. But your likes of your Parkers, your Joshuas, and the like, they fought a lot of the top 10 guys.
It'd be interesting to see who out of Parker and Joshua has actually fought the most.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Fought them. He's lost to a lot of them.
Yeah,
but he's been in there with them.
I'm pretty sure he fought Junior Farr as well.
Yeah, he beat Junior Farr, but they're like sparring partners. That was a
12-round decision.
That was not a good fight, Raph.
Jeez, that was 12 rounds. Good lord.
To be honest, since losing to Joyce,
yeah,
Parker's actually looks a lot better.
Yeah, he has looked better. Yes. He's got Andy Lee with him. Andy Lee knows a bit. So we're talking about Junior Farr. You should be on your screen now.
It's status inactive.
Really? What the hell?
Yeah, just under heavyweight, status inactive. That told you quite a bit.
Jeez, Louise. Yeah, it does. Status inactive. Good Lord. So he's got Frank Sanchez next. He last fought in October 2022. OMG. He lost to Lucas Brown in 1 round. That's it. Lucas Brown absolutely starched him. I think I did a video on that. It was a wicked starching. But we could write that off and say caught him cold. Maybe he's a dokes, a bit like a dokes. Slow starter. Let's say we write that off as a bad start. Lost to Josie Parker over 12 rounds. Who's he beat? Beat some no name to low name guys. Okay, so he was winning until he got to Parker, lost by unanimous decision, then got
winning. Right. His resume makes Wilder's resume look like a who's who of the heavyweight division. Like his resume is just beyond terrible.
Yeah. It is. So the point is, he's facing Sanchez now. What are we expecting? Well, I think it's a definite Sanchez win. Methodology. What's Sanchez been doing recently?
I'll give you the methodology. Sanchez by stinker.
Yeah. Sanchez, there he is. What's his knockout ratio? Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. Didn't he take out not Junior Farr, F.A. Jagba? Oh, that was a unanimous decision.
He's not an exciting fighter. No. He's just not.
Yeah.
I think he's good, but I'm hoping that's like one of the very first fights.
That would be nice. That would be nice if they put it on first.
It's going to be one of the least entertaining fights on the card for me.
For sure, because looking at his record,
there's a fight on the card that's worse than this.
Yeah,
but I think it'll be at least a bit of fun involved.
Is that the Makhmudov versus Kabayal?
No.
Which one?
Hrgovic.
Oh,
that's the worst fight on the card. If Hrgovic doesn't start you in the first round or so,
that
is Hrgovic totally protecting his status as IBF #1.
Yeah. With Junior Farr, we see Scott Alexander won in 4 rounds.
That was boring though, wasn't it? I don't think either of them have got much in the way of power.
Yeah.
So I just think, and if it comes down to skill, Sanchez is going to outskill him.
Yeah.
Junior Farr's quite a big lump. So I can't imagine that somebody who is a very much safety first pure boxer is going to get in the trenches when he can cruise to 12 round points of victory over a limited fighter. Because Frank is a good boxer. He's a very, very good boxer. I just don't want to watch heavyweights go for 12 rounds. That's not what I watch it for.
Well, his last fight went 4 rounds, retired.
Yeah, I was retiring, and against who? It was Scott Alexander.
Alexander.
Get on with him.
Yeah. Daniel Martinez, he took him out in 1 round.
Okay.
Carlos Negron, one TKO, 9 round.
But without watching it, I'd want to know what kind of TKO that is.
Yeah.
Because I've seen quite a few bad ones. Like the Wilder Duhaupas TKO is pretty bad. At no point was Duhaupas going to go down. The TKO was purely to maintain Wilder's knockout ratio.
Yeah.
He didn't floor him. He didn't hurt him. Wilder had his eye closed.
Yeah.
And there's no way Duhaupas was going to win the fight. So they stopped it.
Yeah.
In 10 when it was going to go for 12.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what kind of TKO that is. Had he floored him? Did he get up and he was on bandy legs, or was it just referee said, "Well, you can't win. What's the point in us carrying on?"
For real. So then Before that was Christian Hamer, who took him 10 rounds. That's a bit worrying. F.A. Jagba, he did drop a Jagba, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he did. And that went 10 rounds. Aguilera, Nagy Aguilera, took him out in 6. TD, what was that? TD? TD? Took out Julian Fernandez in 7th round KO. Brian Howard, 4th round KO. Joey DeWaco took him to 10 rounds in 2020. Jack Malawi.
This is really poor opposition here now.
Yeah,
this
10 rounds.
Straight knockouts all the way, really.
Yeah, 10 rounds. That went 10 rounds. And some early ones got finished early. Some of them, not all of them. So we're not looking at a devastating finisher by no means. A lot of those KOs came early. But, yeah, we're looking at...
I think he's... there's no question he's a good boxer.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that Junior Far's any sort of test for him at all. My prediction would be this will go 12 rounds. Clear points decision for Frank. Possible whitewash.
Yeah. Yes, possible whitewash indeed. Big Belly Miller shouldn't be anywhere near a boxing ring. I wrestle with that one. I kind of understand that sentiment also. Salute Raphie, Aaron Daly up in the building. Wizard Sleeves, the Special K. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit all the good buttons. Still get your points in. I think Miller will KO him. J Bus America thinks Miller will KO him. KO. It's possible.
I wouldn't rule that out. So
I wouldn't rule it out. Wouldn't rule it out.
But I mean, for everybody who doesn't want to see Big Baby Miller in the ring, I understand it. However, if someone completely cleaned his clock and knocked him out,
yeah,
it would be very satisfying, wouldn't it?
Very much so.
And I actually think he's a knockout waiting to happen, to be frank. Anyone who knows what to do with his pressure and can time him will get him out of there, because he takes a lot on his chin.
He does.
And I don't know how true it all is, but before he started on the gear, he only weighed about 220, 230. And
I doubt it. He's a big boy.
No, it's true, Raph. You go back to the early part of his career. This is one of the reasons why I don't think there's much doubt that a lot of it is enhanced. And
he seems like a fat lad to me. He seems like a born.
But he wasn't. He actually wasn't like a svelte 230. Right. He was still, a smooth at best 230. And he sparred with Wilder, and he couldn't last the pace and went home. And from that,
he went to the hospital. Apparently, said he had heat exhaustion.
Well, allegedly. Also, the other story is he got banjoed all over the ring.
Well,
and after that, he bulked up. And I think that experience might have pushed him into the temptation to actually get on the gear.
No, because he got popped for gear when he was a kickboxer.
Was it steroids or was it?
Yeah.
Was it actually roids or was it? I thought it was another one of these.
Whatever it was, it was enhancements. Whatever it was.
No, I'm not saying it's not cheating, Raph, but I thought it was more of a stamina enhancement. He got popped for in kickboxing.
Well, gear's gear, isn't it? Gear's gear.
Cheating's cheating.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm getting at is the need to grow and put on a significant amount of weight and be able to lift big, heavy weights.
Yeah.
Seemed to happen after he got banjoed by Wilder. So I think in his head, the way that he thought he would be competitive with other heavyweights was getting big and strong. And because he's probably already not got any morals about cheating, just jumped on the gear and put on £70. That's the point. If you go back to like his early career, he was down at the sort of 220s, 230s. He's not really that tall, is he? I mean, he's not like
he's 6'4". 6'4".
For the normal public,
yeah,
that's very tall. But when we're talking about heavyweights, that's Frank Sanchez's height, it's Dillian White's height. It's pretty sort of the beginning of where you need to be if you're going to be a heavyweight.
Yeah.
You're not going to be classed as a tall, large heavyweight, 6'4" anymore, right?
No.
I mean, you know, walking down the street, obviously you're a big guy.
Yeah.
But really, you need to be sort of 6'6" plus for it to be considered big in the heavyweight division nowadays.
Yeah.
And I just feel that he's got a little bit of that little man syndrome, even though it's ridiculous because he's a massive guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he took steroids specifically.
Mm.
Because the other stuff is to just give you more energy, isn't it? Which is cheating. I'm not trying to excuse it or say it's less of a cheat.
Yeah.
But there was a huge weight gain in his career, like ridiculous in a short space of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it coincided with him sparring Wilder and not doing particularly well.
Well, let's have a look at this article talking about his history of drug use. Let's see if we can get to his kickboxing record, see what he was popped for. Banned in 2014. We're looking up blame ignorance when making baseless claims.
What's that method? Isn't that some sort of no, in the next paragraph along?
Tested positive for methyloxamine.
Isn't that some sort of stimulant?
We'll look into that in a second, see exactly what it is. The product
I'll
used.
check while you go through the article, right?
Yeah. The product is used by athletes as a dietary supplement and is a well-known performance enhancer. Dozens of fighters. It's almost impossible. Okay, so it wasn't a steroid. It was what do they call it? Methyloxamine. Let's come out of that and let's go into this and see what it is. Paste. Methyloxamine. What is it used for? Methyloxamine is a stimulant originally developed for use as a nasal decongestant. Although voluntarily withdrawn from medical use, methyloxamine later resurfaced as an ingredient within a wide range of weight management, fat burning, and energy boosting supplements. Okay, fat burner.
Yeah, it's a stimulant basically, right?
Yeah.
Like I said. So that's cheating. I'm not trying to make any excuses for it.
Yeah.
But it isn't going to make you put on a whole load of weight.
No. Well, it'll take weight off you.
Yeah, exactly. And after the Wilder sparring session is when he decided to put the weight on. So we've already got a man of low moral character who's quite happy to cheat. So if he thinks he needs to go and pile on the weight and get bigger and stronger, obviously he's just going to jump on the gear, isn't he?
That's interesting. It's very interesting.
And it's all cheating. I'm not,
Yeah.
I think one of the worst things boxers actually use is clenbuterol. Because if you remember in the days when Canelo was fighting at 155 pounds to defend his middleweight title, he actually went on record telling other people that he's better at cutting weight, so why shouldn't he be allowed to use that advantage? And it's like, you're better at cutting weight because you're using clenbuterol.
Yeah.
You're rigging the system to drain your opponent and fight smaller men. That's what I find particularly offensive about clenbuterol. So it's all like I'm against all of it.
Yeah.
But I think you can pinpoint when Miller started using anabolics. Because he wasn't just on anabolics when he got popped, was he? He was on EPO as well. I mean, it was like
he was on the Ranger stuff.
Yeah, he
was on a cocktail.
Yeah, it was outrageous.
Remember, he's on the WD-40 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the worst drug offence in the history of boxing, to be honest. And then he popped again as well. Popped
again.
Yeah, I mean, as a human being, he's a total disgrace.
Yes.
And I think that's why AJ was triggered yesterday.
Yes. Ajit Kabayal fighters. Who were we just talking about?
We were talking about Miller. Before that, I think we ascertained that Kabayal's fighting the Russian lad, isn't he?
Yes. Okay. Well, let's get into that. Miller. Yes. Bruce Gass up in the building. Mr. Coates. Is it the greatest fight card in history? It's one of the most high-ranking fight cards in history. When you look at the ranks of the competitors throughout, it's high ranking. You got the number, arguably number 2 heavyweight. Well, who's number 3 and number 4 heavyweight in Joshua and Wilder. You got, let me have a look at the thing again. You got Joseph Parker, who's top 10. You got Wallin, who might be top 10. You got friggin' Hergovic, who's definitely top 10. In fact, I might pull up the Ring magazine top 10 rankings. You got a lot of top 10 guys. It might be the highest ranking overall card that we've Daniel Dubois top 10. It's rammed. It's rammed.
But then when you look at the quality of the fights, it's not really there, is it? But I wanted AJ to fight Wallin because I didn't think he was going to fight Wilder, and I thought it was a good tick-over fight.
Yeah.
To have him at his own subscription at the OT. Do you see what I mean? It's like you've got all this talent on a card.
Yeah.
But if you to look at the fights individually,
they're good fights.
They're good fights, but they're not fights that are going to attract the casuals, are they?
Well, I think it's a good card. I think it's a very good card. I think the matchups that we're interested in. I've wanted to see Wallin versus Joshua. Not right now. Prior to the second fight with Usyk, prior to the second fight, I want to see that. But still, it's a good fight. I like it. Wilder versus Parker. It's a very good fight. I like that a lot. I like that fight a lot. That's a top fight. That's a top fight. Who else? Let's have a quick look. Who else? Daniel Dubois versus Miller. Still a compelling fight. Ajit Kabayal versus Makhmudov. Okay, big hitter is Makhmudov. So still a decent fight. So you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 decent fights, and there's a little bit of what can Arthur do. Probably not a lot against Bivol. Probably not a lot. But you still, let's see what he can do. So I'll still watch. I know he's going to get banjoed. I expect him to get knocked out. But I'll still watch. I'm just going through the list. Right. Apataya. Okay. I don't know the other guy. I don't know him, so I can't really comment. But it's still good to see Apataya out again. So yeah. I think it's a really nice card. Over to you.
So I'm looking forward to the card, and I will definitely pay my money for it.
Yeah.
And I boycotted
Fury.
Fury's last 2 cards.
Yeah.
So it's not really that I've got any complaints.
Yeah.
But when we're going to start getting carried away with, is it the best card in history? Probably not.
Yeah.
Am I happy that it's been made 100%? I see the main event of this card as Parker versus Wilder, to be frank.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic fight that I'm really intrigued with. I'm really interested in that fight. I've been on here calling for Wallin to fight AJ or AJ to fight Wallin for ages.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about whether it's preparation for Wilder or not preparation for Wilder. Wilder's so unorthodox and everybody knows pretty much what you need to do to beat him. I think you can just have a camp dedicated to that and you do that. So it's a good fight strategically. It gets you lined up for the IBF. You have the potential to make a statement against someone who gave Fury all he could handle.
Yeah.
And he's unbeaten. So that's a good fight, but I don't know that it's a scintillating main event because he's got the potential to be an absolute stinker.
Which one?
Wallin versus AJ.
Yeah.
Wallin's a tricky southpaw who's not really that much of a hard hitter, who's awkward.
Yeah.
And if we get the safety first AJ, it could be a very boring 12 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, from what we've seen of AJ lately, that could happen. And Wallin, that is his normal style. He's normally awkward. The only time he's ever really been aggressive was out against Fury. So it's a very intriguing fight, and it's a good fight to make, but I don't know if it's going to be a fun experience. I mean, it could be. If AJ knocks him out, cleans his bar, then he's putting the whole division on notice because Otto is a difficult fight. He gave Fury everything he could handle. And that would make a good statement. But I'm not going to sit here and say that's definitely going to happen right now. I haven't really had time to digest what
I don't think anybody's expecting that fight to be scintillating.
No. So if you look at the card, the best fight for me is the Parker Wilder fight. Yeah. I actually think there's more to the Arthur Linden fight than people are giving it credit to. Just because of the style of the two fighters. I don't think it'll be fun to watch.
Right.
But Linden's long, and I don't think Bivell's very long at all. And Linden's got a good jab. Yeah. So it could be a fencing match where Linden's got the reach on him. Yeah. So it could go the way that Richardson went when he fought Bivell. Because Bivell doesn't really go in there and spark people, does he?
That was the fight I was thinking about. Didn't Richards go 12 rounds? Didn't he go the full distance? Yeah, he went the full distance and he got a lot of credit for the performance. And I can see it being a very similar affair to that. It could be. The Apataya fight, he's fighting something like the 7th best cruiserweight in the UK. So that's a mismatch. Probably fun to watch someone get sparred because Jay Apataya is a fun fighter to watch. Yes. Right, so that will be fun, and I like him. And again, he's out really quickly, so you can't, it's good. And the Makhmudov versus Kabayel fight, I'm hopeful that Makhmudov knocks him out, but Ajit Kabayel is a really tricky customer as well. Yes. So that could well be a situation where actually it's a bit of a stinker when Kabayel wins, because I don't know how good Makhmudov is. He's been knocking over cans. Yeah, he looks the part, but I think this is actually a respectable test. Right, although Ajit Kabayel has been pretty inactive for quite a long time. So it's a really good card. I'm paying my money. I'm not trying to sound negative. I just don't want to get too carried away and say it's the best card in history. Yeah. Well, the positive out of it is the fact that it's cross promotion. When's the last time we had a big cross promotion like this? It's been a really long time. Well, we were breaking down the fights. Is it the best? Is it the best of all time? No, probably not. But it's nice. It's a very nice card, especially in these times. In these times when these times of avoidance, and that brings me or takes us on to the top of the card. Just look at Arsen Makhmudov. That's his next fight. I'm not showing this on the screen. Yeah. Kevin Johnson, just looking at the names, went 12 rounds with him in 2021. Journeyman. Derek Chisora, he won that demotivated Derek Chisora and unmotivated, Derek Chisora. So yeah, Caballal, orthodox. Yeah, he can box. He knows how to box. He can box. Versus Makhmudov, Arsen Makhmudov. Man with the twitch, age 34. What's he been doing at his age 34? How long has he been in the game anyway? What was his first fight? 2017. What's that? 6 years.
Did I see Samuel Peters on his resume? Did he dig him up out of the grave? Or?
Samuel Peters there, yeah. Did dig him up out of the grave, yeah.
That was 2019. This is what I mean about his power looks amazing, great, fantastic, but who's he knocking out?
Knocked out Marius Wack, a durable fella.
I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
People don't tend to knock out Marius Wack.
No, not at all. We're playing connect the dots, people. We connect the dots in front of your very eyes. No trickery, no bullshittery. We're connecting the dots here. We're looking at Marius Wack. Knockout ratio 50%, 52%. Knocked out 4 times. Who knocked out Marius Wack? Fraser Clark did in the what? No, that was points. Who knocked out Marius Wack? Lost by unanimous decision to Kevin Larina, 2022. The guy who dropped Daniel Dubois multiple times. Arsen Makhmudov. He got knocked out in the 6th round. He lost to Yuri Fury over 12 rounds in his fight before that. So that's good on Makhmudov. That looks good on Makhmudov. Went 10 rounds with Kevin Johnson, won that one. Dillian White in 2019 went all 10 rounds. Lost to Martin Bakole. Damn. The sparring champion, king of sparring.
Gerald Miller's got a knockout on him. It's a TKO though.
TKO indeed.
Just stopped him on his feet for that.
12, yeah. But Martin Bakole, TKO. Oh, that's a TKO as well. Okay. TKO against Alexander Povetkin couldn't take him out in 2015.
Yeah, Povetkin was an assassin there.
Say again?
Povetkin was an assassin in 2015.
Yeah, but he couldn't take him out. He lost by TKO. Okay, TKO. So he did take him out, but in the last round somehow.
Like, for me, Povetkin is technically one of the best at setting up his knockout punches. I don't know that he's a big puncher.
Yeah.
He's good at getting you with that one you can't see and executing it extremely well.
Yeah. But I think what we're saying here, what the tell of the tape here, suggests that Makhmudov may really have some knockout power for real.
I'm not saying he hasn't.
No. What we're saying, we're breaking it down for the people, and we questioned his knockout power, and the tell of the tape suggests that he does have some real knockout ability.
That's credible. And was it? It wasn't a TKO against Wack, was it? Was it actually a clean knockout?
Wack. Marius Wack. Yeah, KO in the 6th round.
That sounds like credible power, to be fair.
Yeah. Most certainly does. Okay, so as we move, as we move. I think we come out of that. Then we're going to go into the chat, and then we're going to come up to the main event of the evening. Got a bit of audio for you. This is going to be a video, but I guess I'll preview the video right here. Let's see what the people are saying. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that share button as we proceed. Won't be long now. Let's have a little looky. I think Miller makes Dubois quit for the third and final time. OMG. Hardly a Bristol City in sight. Well, they are in the kingdom. They are in the kingdom. Shout out to His Excellency Turkey. So somebody called him. I think Deontay Wallace says, yeah, shout out to His Excellency Mr. Turkey. That did get a chuckle out of me, I must confess.
You can take the boy out of Alabama.
Yeah. You can't take the Alabama out of the boy. No. There's a couple of them who called him Mr. Turkey. His Excellency. It's quite amusing. Not sure if it's true, but I heard D. Maury was helicoptered in to fight Hrgovic after Bacoli pulled out in the 12th hour. Oh, it's possible.
There was rumors Bacoli was going to be on this card.
Yes.
And I mean, maybe it isn't Hrgovic's fault that he's got the softest opposition. We don't know.
Yeah.
Because they didn't announce it beforehand. But whatever it is, that's the worst fight on the card. Although, at least as a compensation, you're probably going to see someone get knocked out quite quickly. So.
For real. Miller was AJ pure mouth in the press conference. Miller was AJ. Oh, Miller was AJ pure mouth. I don't know what you mean, brother. What's the date and the price? The date is December the 23rd. Pay-per-view price. I don't know if that's been announced yet. Yeah, 23rd. Right before Christmas. Big Mark seems to struggle. Who's Mark? Oh, Mark Maduff. Okay. Big Mark.
I mean, that's one thing you'd say about Wack. He's there to be hit.
He is. He is indeed. He is there to be hit. Big Mark seems to struggle against smaller mobile fighters, but if he clips Caballal, should be game over. Mac will win this. Interesting. And in comes our man from the Caribbean. Goes by the name of Iron Kong. How do you do?
Pleasant evening, gents. The Honorable John Daly, the Honorable His Excellency Raphael Dawkins, live from Dawkins Towers, the luxurious Dawkins Towers.
I'm going to call myself that from now on. I'm going to call myself His Excellency. I like it.
There's been a lot of reference to the fact that you're very regal, Raph.
I've been parliamentary procedure in here.
I'm back at college, you know, two lunch times a week, talking about regal.
Oh, yeah?
2 lunch times a week. I'm at college.
You're studying a bit of
I'm studying, brother.
Mampy science?
Yes. We're taking in that I'm learning every day.
You see, one day Raphie might be a fully qualified mampiologist like you.
Mampiologist.
I failed out with that one heavy girl from the airline. Failed that way. Just too sweaty.
They ain't really no mampies at the college. There really aren't that many. There's one. There's one thick in a nice way though. There's one thick in
Bordering
a nice
on, so bordering
no,
on.
no, not even bordering, just medium thick. Medium thick, not bordering.
Raphie's a bit adverse to the thickness, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't like them too thick, man. I like them, agile. I like, my thing is, I'm me Tarzan, you Jane. So she's really got to be able to function when I swing off and conducting business around the jungle. She's got to be able to function. She got to be able to lick a man in his head side with a piece of wood.
What you mean?
Yeah, she's got to be. So that's robust, but in a fit kind of way, robust and fit. Hold on, I've not got it on my Instagram. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you exactly.
I always think you like that Quim Harisso, whatever name.
I'll show you.
My elder used to say, I want a woman I could run with, not have to run left.
Yes, run, boom.
But then.
That's exactly. Hold on. Let's not get past
bad. If things get bad and we have to make a hasty escape, box him in the head top, and we go. We make a hasty escape.
No, you've nailed it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Having the ability to move and get out of there. Just move and look good at the same time. We're not talking about no mampy. Dead. She's dead. No way. We're not talking about no mampy, no cardio, the female equivalent of Jarrell Miller. No. I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's as big as I'll go. That's big for me.
I mean, come on, Raph. This is
not even.
Come on, Raph.
That's big.
Remotely big.
Come on,
That's
Raph.
big for me.
What's that?
That's not remotely big, Raph.
That's big. I'm telling you, that's big.
Okay, so this is why I get confused because I'm a fan of quite a few of the long jumping ladies. Yeah.
No, that's too narrow.
Yeah, but you see, you like Goldilocks. You are.
I told you I'm picky. It's well-known fact. It's a well-known fact. I'm extremely picky. Too much so.
Open door policy. I've got rules and standards, but I wouldn't like that's thick. And then Iron Kong's a bit of an expert on the long jumping ladies.
The what? Long jumping?
Yeah, the ladies.
Yeah. So we're talking like Kadi Sangnia, we're talking Fatima Diame.
Those two in particular, exactly the two ladies that I'm talking about. I'm not very good at pronouncing their names.
I'm a bit of a pub, so
I'm a massive fan of those two ladies.
I'm sure
Raphie thinks they're too skinny.
I like the longer lady, but not for keeps.
These aren't that tall, Raph.
We're talking about for keeps. Now, if we're talking about for keeps, then this is big for me. This is good, but it's on the larger side. But this is
some thighs. I mean, that's not. She's got a flat belly.
Yeah.
If anything, she looks like she probably lifts a little bit. Doesn't mean to say she's slow. If you need to run.
How did we get here? We were talking about boxing. What? You listen. I just realized, what the hell did we get here? I was listening boxing.
I mentioned college, and
straight away Kong's on the mampy.
And you mentioned the scienceology and the Scientology, the people them, and that's how we got here. But this is big for me. I don't know what people are saying. What's going on here? That's nowhere near big at all, Raphie. Raphie must no. This is big for me. This is good. This is good. This to me. This is the perfect blend of trim and big at the same time. We got the trimness, and then them thighs. Could teach her a couple wrestling moves.
Yeah, but you don't find that easily, though, Raphie.
Say that again.
Yeah, but that's not a common shape.
No. What? There's enough of them.
This is why I'm calling him Goldilocks.
There's enough of. It's not common. It's not common.
The two ladies that you've just referred to, Kong, Raphie would turn his nose up at them for being too
Oh,
No, I would play with them.
This is where the concern is.
I would play with them, but we're talking about for keeps.
okay.
If we're talking about for keeps, then this to me is a perfect combination of trim and thick at the same time. She satisfies my need for trim and my need for thickness all at the same time.
Let me apologize to the chat for taking the conversation this way. If we were talking about boxing, sorry.
We apologize, chat, but we
Raphie,
apologize.
ask me about boxing, please, so I can get into the conversation.
But before we can get back to the boxing, I have to get Jono's opinion if he wants to share an opinion, and then we get back to you and we talk about boxing. Jono, please come in and give your expert opinion on what you see before you, if you wish, but you can pass.
Okay. Just to check, I haven't got mic buzz today, have I?
No, you might.
That's good. That's good. What do I see? Some nice looking hips.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, looks pretty tidy. I'll give it a go.
Yep. Well, this is almost my ideal. Could do it a bit more up top. Could have a little bit more up top, but this is almost the ideal.
Yeah, very, very small waist.
Yes.
I like a little bit of meat on a woman, but too skinny I don't like either.
No.
So yeah, you're probably right. A little bit on top maybe might sort her out a bit, but yeah, I like those nice muscular legs and the shape of those hips. Oh yeah.
I do. I do have a fondness, could call it a weakness for legs that look just like that. I do have a fondness for it. Okay, so we're gonna get back to you, Jono, in a second, but first let's bring that down. Hold on. Let me just complete this with people's opinions on the matter. Raphie like them stick figures? No, absolutely not. No. Trim and thick at the same time is beautiful. Now we like this conversation. Well, you've had it now. We've had about 20 minutes of it, so we're gonna get back into the boxing. That's nowhere near big at all. For me, anything up to a well-proportioned 16. No, that's out of the question. Come on now. That's our order.
What is a well-shaped 16?
16 is a size dress. I would call that, it's too meaty for me. But when a woman grows in the later years, if she gets up to a 16, fair enough. But you can't start there. Not for me.
Are we saying like a super middleweight, like a Franchon Cruz?
Well, Franchon, no. Well, this woman here is probably, I would say, an 8 up the top and 10 in the thighs. John, what would you say? I'm saying 8 up top and 10, size 10 dress in the thighs.
Right, this young lady here, or
yes, right here. She's size 8 at the top.
The waist is very thin.
Yeah,
but then I think she's got like maybe a size 8 waist.
Yeah,
but the thighs, and without having the rear view, I don't really know.
Yeah,
how far around.
How big's the bump?
Take my word for it. It's good.
Well, if that's good, then it could push it up to a 14 and below the waist.
Well, okay.
Which is ideal. You know, that's perfect.
Which is fine.
That's
fine.
a good ratio.
Perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. So those are the dimensions, Kong. She's an 8 at the top and maybe a 12 in the lower section.
Thank you, Raphael.
So that gives you context.
Well, I mean, depending on its ability to defy gravity, a 14 can be good in below the waist.
Well, yeah, you're pushing my buttons now, John, because that's very close to a 16, which is only for middle-aged spread. That's only acceptable for middle-aged spread.
It all depends on how well it stands up, Raph.
Well, come on, this girl ain't gonna fail me. This girl.
No, I don't mean that.
Stop trying to put negativity. Stop trying to make me question my decision.
is if the rear carriage.
Yeah. No, the rear is good. Please don't question
No. Hold on.
the rear.
I'm trying to talk about dimensions.
Yeah.
That can be a 14 if it's high. It's when it's flat.
Let's just stick with the 12. Let's just stick with the 12. Let's just stick with the 12. Come on now. Because 12, if you say 14, then that's close to the 16. 16 to me is middle-age spread, which you have to accept to a certain extent.
It all depends on how it's.
Let's stay safe. Let's stay safe. Let's say 12 and stay safe out there. Come on now.
What's her name? I'm gonna have to put her name up. See, she's probably well over a 16, but it's also flat in the belly and high.
You're in the danger zone, mate. What about aging? You got to take aging into account. You got to let her get to there in middle age, man. If she's already there now, then come on.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because it depends on her habits and activities, Raph.
Yeah, you guys fly too close to the danger zone. You guys are like Icarus. You think it's gonna be okay? It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. No,
you're thinking too long term.
I'm a long-term thinker.
I'm already nearly 50. How long is it going to be for?
Listen, bro. My diet regimen, the foods I eat, they're all designed to keep my blood and my veins clean. I'm riding this bitch until the wheels fall
No,
off.
don't mean that. I mean, potentially, you might have to make a replacement.
Bro, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. From years of experience, many years of experience, what I found is what goes around comes around. So in my life, it's like many times when something appeared to be over, years later, it turns out that the door was still open. The door was still open, and so make a change, you change, and then you change again, and then you change again. So it's like, is something really over? Is it over? Is it over? Sometimes it ain't really over. Well, that's my experience. That's my experience. So let's bring that down, because you could get deep. We could get deep into this.
I got really deep in it then. I started sending you images on WhatsApp just to illustrate my point.
We got deep into the shiz, but we got to hear Iron Kong's opinions on the boxing. Iron Kong, let's give us your opinions, on the card. Give us your opinions on the card. I'll bring up an image for you so you can see what's going on. Where are we? Where's the image? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, there we have it. Iron Kong is not at the mic at the moment. I'll get it.
Sorry, Raphie. I was just expressing my displeasure at how my son wrote some history work in his social studies. Very disappointed. Go ahead, Raphie. Sorry.
Okay. So, so there's the card. Pick who you want to talk about, my friend.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Daniel Dubois. My whole idea about Daniel seems to be Daniel reminds me of my 7-year-old, when I'm trying to hype him up to go play football.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really want to play. The kids are a bit bigger than me or whatever. I'm like, you gonna let that big fat kid run around you? You're not gonna let him do that. Like when Frank was trying to hype up Daniel, you're not gonna let that happen, are you, Daniel? Daniel's like, no, Frank, I'm not gonna let that happen. I was like, I think Daniel Dubois at that age is like a 5-year-old trapped in a grown. I think he has some sort of challenge. I don't think he's all there mentally.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I've always watched him and how he speaks. He seems very socially awkward. He seems always out of place. He had on a tuxedo. A tuxedo. And I was just like, why is he wearing, who dressed Daniel? Why is he wearing a tuxedo?
Wilder had a tuxedo on as well. He just kept his coat on.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But he had on like a straight up, I'm going to like BAFTA awards or something. Tuxedo. I was like, what is it? Bow tie and all that? I was like, man, stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he looks out of place. He's very slow of speech.
Yep.
And it was just like, I don't know if Daniel Dubois is all there developmentally.
He may not be. I mean, I've heard it said that he might be on the spectrum, and I agree, he might be.
You know, the other day I saw him showing off some Brazilian chick on his Instagram. I was like, oh, people was like, this got to be Daniel's first girlfriend. Because he was like photobomb, like, oh, my Brazilian queen. I was like, oh, no.
Really? On his Instagram?
Yeah. So apparently he just found a chick, and you know he just flashing up pictures around. Oh, I'm out with my queen, my Brazilian queen. I was like, Daniel finally getting some.
Well, he has talked about sex before.
Oh God, has he?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised. He said it's like, you know, when you have sex for the first time and this, that, and he described. He spoke of it as if he'd actually done it, which surprised me.
No, it was just having Daniel at the press conference. It just looked so uncomfortable because, you know, Jar Miller is a loudmouth.
Yeah.
So, but then Daniel just seemed like Frank had to kind of like hype him up, like push him into the fight. Like, I was just like, wow.
He did.
I wonder if Frank is trying to cash out on Daniel.
Well, he sounded like it. It sounded like he said, "This is your chance now, Daniel. This is your chance now." He was saying he's like, "It's his last chance." Sound to me.
I guess so, but that was really stood out. I mean, it wasn't the whole Miller. I thought AJ dropped the ball. I thought he should have just chilled and say, "Hey, just make sure you don't have no needles and no pills over there, right?"
Yeah.
You know, just drop it simple like that. I said, bro, just make sure you're clean. That's it. Don't talk to me. Just make sure you don't have no needles in your backside and no swallowing no pills in your fat belly.
Yeah.
That's all AJ should have said. Just ignore this dude, man. There he is. But he had like 2 or more pictures. I think he deleted them because people started like making fun of him. Like, oh, this got to be your first girlfriend, Daniel. I was just like, oh no. But anyway, that was my takeaway. And it just seems like Frank, which in someone like Big Baby Miller, where Daniel is trying to go, he should be fighting Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller is not in no shape to be fighting nobody. You know what I mean? But sometimes I feel like I don't know if Daniel actually wants to box. I don't know. Like if he can't run through you, he doesn't seem to have the fortitude to stay in there. Fortitude
is a key word.
Yeah. You have to have a certain level of stubbornness in combat sport.
Yes.
A certain level of stubbornness. Like, nah. You're not going to do this to me.
Yeah. You got to be kind of pig-headed.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Other fights on the card, Raphie. Not really much to say. Sorry, I think John was trying to get in there. I mean, when I was talking. John, sorry about that, brother.
No, that's all right. I had a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
I didn't quite catch all of what you were saying, but 100%, you're not the first person that said that Daniel is not the full ticket. And I think, you know, it's become apparent and highly illustrated yesterday that he wasn't. But what I don't understand is why Frank's still backing the wrong horse. I mean, why is he even on this card? If in all truth, what's the end game with Daniel?
Not make money.
But how?
Well, by keeping him up there,
but
high in the rankings, by getting him world championship fights.
But he's got a better fighter that he could be pushing. Who's got a massive country behind him.
You're talking about
Zhang. Zhang.
Oh, Zhang.
Why isn't he signed to Queensbury?
Yeah.
Why is he not on the card?
Zhang.
That's true.
Maybe
why is Daniel on the
mandatory.
Yeah, but he could have a tick-over fight.
True.
We look at who Zergovic is fighting.
True.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it stems all the way back to when Daniel fought Joe Joyce and Frank was backing him then. I don't understand why Frank thinks that he's got the next Anthony Joshua in Daniel Dubois and why he's still going on with it, because it isn't going to happen.
Zhang's injured, apparently.
Okay, well, that's fair. But I still think Frank's really trying to back Daniel, and he's a limited boxer who's never going to have crossover appeal, even if he was successful, because he's just not equipped to deal with these type of events, is he?
Well, he's gonna make as much money from him as he possibly can. Yeah, while he can. That's the game plan.
But I just find it strange. I mean, look, it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I like the fight. I mean, it's a great fight. But...
Who else, Kang? Oh, well, talk to us about Deontay Wilder versus. Well, no, talk to us about Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin.
I think it's a good fight. I know Eddie was before kind of like poo-pooing for like, fighting a southpaw is not going to prepare him for a Wilder, but Joshua can't avoid southpaws. The southpaws are part of the game, right?
Yeah.
You can't swerve around southpaws. You can't go around them. So it's a part of the game. Otto is somebody who fights in a particular way. He probably is not a big punching guy, but he fights in a particular way where he's trying to maybe outpoint you. I don't think he beats Joshua. If Joshua is on point and really focused on the fight, which he seems to be.
Yeah.
So I don't think he beats Joshua at all. I mean, but I think it's a decent fight. I know people keep saying, "Oh, it's a southpaw, so he'll give AJ." I'm like, the first belt he won was against a southpaw. And then what? He lost against probably the best southpaw in the game, Usyk, and all of a sudden now just any southpaw could walk through Anthony Joshua. For real?
That's crazy, yo.
Like,
Kong, did you know that Anthony Joshua's beaten Otto twice in the amateurs?
Yeah. You tell me that, yeah. So I don't know. It's almost as if just any southpaw would just walk through Joshua. It's like, so he loses against the best in the game, and
in competitive fights,
huh?
In a competitive fight, the last one was very competitive.
It was competitive, and it's all of a sudden it's a southpaw. It'll beat AJ just like that. I mean, what are we talking about?
It's crazy.
So that's the kind of disrespect he got put up with. But I don't see Otto beating Joshua. But if Otto beats Joshua, it's a very, very, very bad loss. Otto ain't nobody. Who's Otto? You know what I mean? So in terms of Wilder and his fight, that's a decent fight. That's a good fight. It's hard for me with Joseph Parker because I'm never quite sure where Joseph Parker is in his mind. One time he looks good, next time he looks like with Junior Farr. I don't even know. But he's with the right people to help him for Wilder, which is the Fury camp. Yeah. So if there was a reason he's with the Fury camp, this is the reason. Because thus far I haven't seen the reason he's with the Fury camp. Because he hasn't gotten any much better. He's just like a slower version of, just gotten heavier, and that's about it. But if this is if there is a reason why he should be with the Tyson Fury camp, it's this. Because everybody knows what Wilder has been Wilder from his debut to now.
For real.
So,
I mean, I actually think Parker's got a lot of interesting tools to beat Wilder. My concern would be if we've got Fat Parker, he negates his best tool, which is his foot speed. Because I don't know why he got so big and fat for fighting Joe Joyce. I mean, it clearly didn't work. He's got respectable power. He's got a good chin. He's good on the inside. He's got fast hands. And he's quite skillful. So all of these things could really fluster Wilder if you've got the confidence to go in there and get inside his range and fight him on the inside. Parker has to fight him on the inside because he's operating at a 7-inch reach disadvantage.
Yeah.
So if he goes in there fat and he cannot get inside, he's toast. Unless Wilder's power really is completely fake, and he actually can't knock him out.
Well, this is the intriguing thing for me. I mean, in this fight, this is why it's an intriguing fight. In this fight, I think we're going to find out. We're going to have a better idea who Wilder is, because he, after all these years, it's still hard to get a handle on how good he is or how good he isn't. In this fight, I think this is going to be the litmus test. In this fight, we're going to find out how to gauge Deontay Wilder. We're going to find out because Joseph Parker's he's going to have to bring the fight to Wilder. If he doesn't bring the fight to Wilder, then he's sitting on the outside and he's a sitting duck. So in this fight, Joseph Parker has to be the aggressor.
But he's looking a bit fat, Raph. We're at the conference, hanging out with the Furies. The big question mark around it is Bukoli was in the Fury camp for the last card, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What did he blow up to? £300?
Well, he was injured.
You just don't have to get up to £300, Raph.
Well, no, it's still too heavy, but he was injured apparently.
Yeah, okay, you're injured. Well, what about putting your diet in check? Because my big thing with them lot is their eating habits must be horrific.
Yeah,
they must be so bad. Because I mean, look at Fury's brother. What's his Shane?
Yeah.
I mean, look at how fat mess he is.
Yeah. Well, they love their food.
Well,
they love their taters. They love their taters. They love their pies. They love their chips.
And I think they love the beer as well, Raph. And I think it's a problem.
Oh, it's a
real issue.
It is a problem. Who wins? Big Baby Miller. KO 33%. Big Baby Miller points 26%. Daniel Dubois KO 26%. Daniel Dubois points 13%. So overall, Big Baby Miller takes what is that? That's a 30, 50, 59% of the votes. Big Baby Miller, therefore, is considered the favorite to beat Daniel Dubois. It's going to be.
I think that's the quitting. I think that's what Daniel's got to overcome. To be honest.
Yeah, that's what he's going to overcome. Will he be able to overcome it? Because I think Big Baby Miller is going to be. He's going to pressure him. He's going to pressure him, and he needs to knock Big. I don't think he can beat Big Baby Miller over 12. Well, maybe he can, but I don't know. I think he's got a gas tank issue. And so I think that over the long term, I think Miller has the edge. If he goes to points, Miller has the edge. Dubois needs to win by knockout, I believe.
You see, with the gear, you're going to say yes, aren't you? But we don't know if that gas tank's going to be intact.
That's the X factor.
That's actually a great fight because he's clearly up there around the £300, Big Baby.
Yeah, but Dubois don't have no good gas tank, right?
No,
well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Dubois.
Intriguing, though.
Dubois has the gas tank deficiency.
But why did Miller feel compelled to consistently take things that would enhance his gas tank, Raph?
Well, it's to enhance his gas tank.
So maybe it's not very good without them.
I know. That's a possibility. That's the X factor.
Yeah. No, that's what makes it a good fight.
That's the X factor.
I just got a question for Kong. So we spoke about anthonyjoshua fighting Wallin. If Joshua won by spectacular KO, do you think he'd get credit for that, Kong?
Anthonyjoshua never gets credit for anything he does. This is a man who, in fight number 16, won a championship belt. By 19, was unified champion. By 20 or 21 or fight number 20 was unified again. And people were saying, he's a protected guy. He's he's a fake champ. They bought those things for him. Like, so Anthony Joshua don't get credit, and he needs to stop seeking credit because he's not gonna get it because he's everything these people don't like. Young, good looking, talented, and he's rich. And they don't like that. When people like Teddy Atlas said, "Oh, he's made too much money," I'm like, what? What? You have an issue with this man making what? I mean, so
of more people as well, because I mean, Mike Tyson had to turn to growing legalized marijuana to actually get his money back.
Okay, so according to Teddy Atlas, Anthony Joshua has made too much money. If it was up to him, apparently Anthony Joshua would be broke, scrounging around, still laying bricks somewhere, trying to get by. Because according to Teddy Atlas, you know what I mean, boxers are not supposed to be compensated for being a unified champion and being likable and personable enough to be on posters and Lucasade battles and all of that. No. So he's not going to get credit. I've already seen people say, AJ should knock him out in 5. And if he don't knock him out in 5, then he need to hang it up. As if somebody else has knocked out Wallin in 5.
There's a lot of people putting that out there. Like a lot.
Ridiculous.
And it's mental because this is an unbeaten fighter who gave Fury everything he could handle. And a comfortable win should be seen as a good victory. A comfortable points win would actually be doing something Fury couldn't do. And I don't, they're already set the bar that Anthony Joshua's got to knock him out within 5 rounds. I mean,
anybody who takes a moment to just look at the statistics. Look at the statistics. Statistics can give you an eye into the future. When you look in the past sometimes, when you look in Otto Wallin's past, you don't see someone who is particularly chinny. You see a sturdy southpaw who has not been stopped, who has been in there with arguably some people say the best of all times. Some say that Otto Wallin has been in there with the best that ever put on a pair of gloves.
In the history of the Queensberry rules.
In the history of mankind. Going back to caveman days.
Clubbing people with large sticks.
With large sticks. And and when the age of consent was lower. He's been in with that guy.
If he was, he would have been right in when England had the Dane law, and he would have been fighting with the Saxons and all of that, and blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yeah, best of all times, and everybody knows that if that were anyone other than Luke, that fight would have been stopped. That fight should have been stopped. Anybody else, that fight would have been stopped. So the man who arguably beat Luke, who's never been stopped, Joshua is supposed to do what Luke didn't do.
And even if he does do that, that's just the expectation. And you shouldn't, we're not going to give him too much credit for it.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't add up. What I'm saying is any logical, reasonable person will go back and look at the statistics and say, well, okay, this guy has been in with Luke, and he arguably beat Luke. Why is he now going to get stopped when nobody else has done it? So, it's easily defeated. It's easy to see the flaw in that argument. Then that is the whole argument's flawed. It's a ridiculous argument. It holds no water. It's unintelligent, and it can only be said by people who are, lacking in the powers of logic, and perhaps, perhaps they struggle with being honest. Perhaps they struggle. No. Let's not disparage. Let's not disparage those who struggle who have a daily struggle with ego and honesty.
I wasn't going to, Raph, but what I was going to say was from the press conference, it looks like Joshua's given up on trying to seek people's approval, and he doesn't care as much. The way that he shut down that TNT host, whatever his name is, from Queensland.
Dev.
Yeah. And the way he spoke to Otto as well. Have you heard the actual audio from the face-to-face?
No.
So he was telling him,
Yeah.
I don't want you to be shaking my hands after the fight. I don't want you to be doing all this talking now and then try and be pally later. If you mean it, then it's on.
Wow.
Why
not shake hands after the fight, though? After the fight,
because he doesn't like people talking shit to him, does he? And
that's part of the game.
No, well, whatever. But I like the spite because we haven't had a spiteful AJ since for a really long time. He was spiteful like this with Brazil.
That's because Brazil kind of pushed up on him, right? So
yeah, and that's what Otto was doing.
Because before, remember the Brazil thing, they were talking fine, it was going through, regular thing or whatever. And I think it really got when they were doing like a photo shoot or whatever, and Brazil tried to like push up on him. It was like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah,
don't try, anyway. But you see, Joshua has with Jermaine Franklin and Hellenius and them, he did try to like put Hellenius in his place and was telling Jermaine Franklin, he's just talking, he's gonna dig a deeper grave for himself. Listen, man, all that talk at the press conference, you told him I'm gonna F you up. So I fully expect Anthony Joshua to do damage to this dude. Right? You're not going to talk all this, and all this you're going to do, and you're going to F him up and don't shake my hands after. I fully expect Anthony Joshua to have Wallin bloodied or on the ground at least once or twice. I'm not, if that's how he going to talk, John, that's cool. But you got to put this man on the ground.
Yeah.
I agree, and he might fail, but I'd rather see him have a bit more spite and less concern about trying to please everybody, because he just needs to focus on his job, and he does need to be a bit spiteful. I don't want this cerebral overthink, because I think he's been thinking too much in the ring as well. He's been trying to do the perfect fight. Let's just get your hands a bit dirty. Let's just get stuck in there a bit. Don't have to throw caution to the wind.
All right.
But it isn't going to be perfect. It's all right to make a few mistakes, get caught, get your feet wet. It's not like Otto is the world's biggest puncher of all time, is it?
No. He's
a bit dirty.
Yeah.
He's a bit crafty. He's very competitive, and he's durable. So, I thought that was good anyway.
Well, I think my view is that the shit talking in boxing, it's as shit talking and boxing go together like peaches and cream. You know what I mean? Being a good shit talker can make you money. And if you got the skills to back it, it can make you a lot of money. So shit talking, yeah, stimulates the crowd, stimulates your opponent. That's good. But at the end of the fight, then you will shake hands, because shit talking is a part of the game. You don't like it, but at the end of the fight, you do shake hands. At the end of the day, it's a shit-talking sport, and it's also a gentleman's sport. So at the end, you show good sportsmanship. And at the end of the fight, I would imagine they will shake hands. So maybe AJ's talking a little bit of shit too. And maybe AJ should talk more shit. How about that one?
Well, that's my point.
How about that one? Maybe AJ should talk some shit. Play with people's minds. It's a part of the game, the psychology of it. And okay, since we're here, let's get into it then. Deontay Wilder said something. Deontay Wilder's been talking shit about Joshua and Parker. I'll do that in some videos. I got the audio, I got the visuals. He was all nicey at the press conference, but then as soon as the press conference is done and they're talking individually, he's talking shit again. And let's not forget how much of a shit talker Deontay Wilder is. Let's not forget the volumes of shit that have the volumes of septic tanks that he's filled with some of the shit that's come out of his mouth. Some of the utter nonsense, some of the most ludicrous and asinine statements and allegations he's made, from being spiked to the referee was drunk, he smelled alcohol on his breath, to what, so many. There was a horseshoe in the glove, whatever. He came up with so many excuses. It's unbelievable. But he did say something which resonated with me, because even a shit talker will say something that's marginally true from time to time. And he said that, have I got the clip? Do I have the audio? He said that it was a 1 minute mark, wasn't it? Let's see if we can nail it.
I think it's great. You know, it's been a long time coming. When Parker.
Try this simple
shut it. Okay, I'm not even going to bother with that. But I'm going to do a video on it anyway, so I'll leave it at that. But he said that.
Gaza's commercial?
Sorry, some commercial came on.
Oh, I thought it was Gaza's or something. Never mind.
Some commercial came on.
And this is the man that complained the direction of the conversation at the start of his entrance.
He said that what did he say? He said that Josh, you say a lot of things, you know, and then after that they have to scramble. They have to scramble and get somebody to put it right. That's why they don't really want Joshua to talk too much, because when he do talk, he doesn't say things that inspires his fans. And that last part, he was right. It was a fair accusation. When Joshua talks, he doesn't say things that will inspire his fans. And I thought, you know what? You're right in a way, because you do inspire your fans, Deontay Wilder. You talk a lot of crap, but it is kind of inspirational at times. You talk about being a king and you got this warrior mentality, and this is what a king do, and we're prepared to give our lives and then die in there. And that stuff is it's rousing. It's rousing. And Joshua, when he speaks, it is not rousing. These days, there's a shroud. There's a shroud of doubt. He is not ebullient. He does not rouse his crowd with ebullient speeches like a Deontay Wilder might. Okay, he's full of shit, fine, but he can rouse his crowd. A Tyson Fury, no man born from his mother's womb. Okay, he might be full of shit, but he does rouse his crowd. Now, with Anthony Joshua, you feel the weight of not just the expectation, but you feel the battering that he's been on the receiving end of. You feel a man who is battle worn, a man who is worn down by the naysayers. And that's why he says, I'm doing this for me now. And that's all well and good. It's the truth. But sometimes you need to throw a little bit of rousing statements in there to rouse your crowd. And I don't know if speaking the truth, whilst it's honorable, I don't know if it's the most rousing to the crowd. Iron Kong.
Sorry, Raphie, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, what I will say to that is some things ain't for everything ain't for everybody. I don't think he's a person that is this big. Wilder fancies himself some big talker. Most of them I hear Wilder talk, he's stuttering some nonsense, sputtering all up and down the place. Even at the press conference, the man has sound like you're having a seizure at some point. He's stuttering and just, you know what I mean, just jibber jabbering a bunch of nonsense. But that flies in America, right?
Yeah.
You know, you could just talk any nonsense and people are like, oh, you know what Wilder said, boy?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this man just said a bunch of nothing. A bunch of nothing. But everything ain't for everybody. You see, he had to start to create that character for himself because his performances, who he was fighting, is poor. You know what I'm saying? So he want back at you and do all this because he knows that flies in America. Well, that's great. When England, and I'm not no big expert on English boxing history, but I don't know too much heavy talkers coming out of England like that, right? Most English people tend to do things on merit, right? In terms of boxers. I don't know too much like flashy talkers, but I could call a bunch of flashy talkers from America. A bunch of them.
Yeah.
Everything ain't for everybody. And I think if Joshua tried to be some sort of big time, it would look ridiculous because that's not him. From the first time I saw him debut, he's always been a bit wary of reporters. Like he don't really like the camera too. He don't really like doing interviews. He don't really like, that's kind of wary. He don't really like it. So he's never been comfortable like that. He's had to sort of create a persona for himself of, you know, always the statesman and always the whatever, because he's trying to show a different example. The battering you're talking about, I think the worst of it came from his own people who, in my opinion, were cheering for him so gritted teeth, like they didn't really want to cheer for him, but he was all that was there. So a lot of these people really disliked cheering for him, but they would do it because he's a Brit. But as soon as he showed any chink in his armor, it's like they couldn't wait to strike. Right. So I could see a lot of resentment coming from that, and he's like, you know what? Who cares? Yeah. So when he left Rob McCracken, people were pissed, like, oh, how dare, like almost if how dare Joshua leave Rob McCracken? How dare he try and change, you know, his trainer? How dare he? Carl EDL Flat Earth Fratch, still wants to, you know, I'm like, oh, Joshua, how dare he could leave Rob McCracken? You know, how dare he? You know, this kind of attitude. And these are all people who wouldn't have dared say nothing about Anthony Joshua when he was unified champion undefeated. All these guys were quiet.
For real.
Right? So, I don't know. Everything ain't for everybody. I mean, you got these two idiots here on the screen, Malik Scott and Deontay, where two people were involved in a fixed fight. And Wilder's still trying to push this nonsense $50 million talk as if like we're still stuck in 2017 or whatever. It's still stuck there. Wilder is still stuck there. He didn't bring that up in front of Eddie Hearn and Joshua because they would have reminded him what happened to the $100 million that you say you turned down. They would have reminded him. So he waited till he got to the Daily Mail. Some Daily Mail has a YouTube channel. I didn't even know they got a boxing channel.
Must be a new thing.
I guess some obscure channel with some dumpy looking chick they're talking. And now all of a sudden it's we offer them $50 million. It's like, and this chick don't even know enough to say, well, why about the $100 million?
She didn't know shit.
Yeah, so, you know, he talking all that there, but when he was in front of people, he quiet, right?
Oh, he's very gracious.
He's very gracious. You know, I wish you nothing but the best, bro, and all this. I was like, this is a snake talking. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder is next to a man, Malik Scott, who threw a fight for him.
Yeah, fixed
fight. So that's my opinion. Whatever.
John D. Lee.
Okay, I'm going to take it away from the two individuals we're discussing so far. I wanted an end to the Klitschko era. The Klitschko era was just like watching paint dry for me.
Yeah, I skipped it.
And Tyson Fury was talking all his rubbish. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out. Chatting all of that fine shit talk that he does, only to get in that ring and play Tig and not throw one single punch that had the intention of even hurting Klitschko, purely to touch him to score points. And this is why I'm not really a fan of people that chat, because I want to see you deliver. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I really do not care what you say. Now, if Derek wants to come out and he wants to say stuff and be crazy, I haven't got a problem with Derek doing it, because I know if he doesn't win, he's going out on his shield. So Derek's going to deliver. And I think that's where my stance is on it. Now, Joshua's not a particularly good talker anyway.
Yeah.
He's also got a huge number of corporate sponsorships that's probably worth more than the fights. But he can't upset. So he's heavily restricted in what he can say anyway. I mean, let's be honest. Who's got all the endorsements? Who walks down the catwalk for Hugo Boss? Who does Range Rover endorse? Who's got their own links? He's not free to engage in all of this. He just isn't. So Tyson Fury has got endorsements for products that you might find in Heron Foods. I mean, it's not a big money spinner, is it? No. So he's got the freedom to do all this talking. As for Deontay Wilder, I mean, he sounds like the village idiot. If we're going to talk about Tweedledee and Tweedledum both turning up in their tuxedos, you know, I don't know which one's more mentally impaired, Wilder or Dubois. What I would say,
tuxedo there too. You see it under the coat.
That's how you could tell who wasn't the full shilling at the event. And as for all of his talk, Wilder's an absolute pussy, because he talks all of that stuff about Tyson Fury, saw Fury, and he soiled himself. He's in the set. He's there, stood next to Joshua. I would really like to see him do a face-to-face and fight, as much to just know if he's really 6'7". Because in the picture where they're shaking hands, Joshua looks significantly taller than him.
No, I didn't think so.
And maybe it's perspective, I don't know. But Wilder's supposed to be the taller fighter.
I think Wilder's had a centimetre or two on Joshua from.
It didn't look like from the angle I saw. Maybe he has.
Okay.
It'll be interesting when they both got their boots on, because that's when you can really tell. Yeah. But I struggle. He's a pussy. He can say it when the man he's talking about isn't there. Yeah. But as soon as he's faced with these other men, he just wants to be the best friend.
He'll warm into it. When the fight's announced, he'll warm into it.
Well, maybe he will. But after all those things he had to say about Tyson Fury cheating, and seeing him in Saudi Arabia, and he just kind of virtually touched the ground in front of him, like that, Tyson Fury owns his soul. So this is why I haven't really got a lot of time for people that chat. Because that's what it is.
But unfortunately, you see, But
my point is, Raph, there's many people that like the talk. You have as many people that don't like it, and appreciate people that just want to turn up and do a job. Which is why one of the reasons I like Anthony Joshua, because he doesn't.
I hear that.
I like him because he doesn't do it.
I hear that. But I think sometimes.
But I'm not a fan of talkers anyway. I mean, Sonny Liston wasn't a talker.
I think sometimes you just gotta defend your name. I understand. I understand, and I relate to Joshua. You know, he's just keeping it on a certain level. But sometimes, even on a personal level, sometimes you just gotta defend your name. Some people say, "Oh, it's a lie." So if they tell a lie about me, it don't matter because I know it's a lie. But sometimes you just gotta defend your name.
But
sometimes you gotta stand.
Doing that.
Sorry,
you do not think he's been doing that? Like he called out.
Sometimes
Spencer.
Sometimes you just gotta say, "Well, listen." You know, people have been taught. He has done it to an extent, but I think he needs to do more of it. I said, listen, just be relaxed. Just relax. Relax. Loosen your arms. Loosen your arms. Relax. Have some chamomile tea. Sit down in front of the camera, nice and loose as a long neck goose, and just say, listen, I know he did do an interview of the ilk of which I'm saying, but he needs to do it more. He said, listen, I know you guys are haters, but for what I've done, what I've achieved, I'm comfortable with it. I know there's hate, there's unfair criticism. You know, my accolades get overlooked. People who have done lesser, you know, shouting from the hilltops, and when you really look at what they've done, it's like, you know, they're not what they say they are. Sometimes they're not what they say they are. I get the criticism. Okay, you know, I guess I have to take it, and I take the slings and arrows, and I will take that. I don't have to like it though. I don't have to like it. You know, I would appreciate if you would give me my due, but I appreciate that there's a crab in the barrel mentality, and I understand it. I understand it, and just, you know, just take it from there. Just take it from there. A bit more mellow. Get a coach in. Well, I don't know if he needs another coach, but just a little bit more mellow. Just laugh at it a little bit, but point it out. Bring it up. Yeah, I heard. Somebody told me, I heard that Wilder's he's talking nice to me face to face, but then he goes away and he talks a lot of crap. And this is what I have to deal with. These are the snakes that I have to deal with. Making all kind of lies when if anybody did a fact check. Just go on Google. You believe in Google, don't you? You believe in Google, don't you? Go on Google, do a fact check, and you'll see what's what. And you'll see that I'm the guy who chased these guys. Those guys ran away, played in their own back garden, milked the box in public. You know, one cherry picked the other, and the other cherry picked the other. Just break it down and then take it from there. So you know, I would like to see. He has done it. I would like to see him do it more often. I would like to see him laugh at the hypocrites who write bad about him and then come and sit in before him, asking him questions all nicey nice. He didn't want you the one who said such and such. Play with him. But then, you know, not everybody can do that. But it is what it is. You play with the cards you got, I guess. But sometimes I feel that his lack of fluidity in front of the mic and the camera, I think it restricts him a little bit. And I think sometimes he loses the PR war. Sometimes he loses the PR war in the face of the bullshitters.
I think also because you see people like Wilder and these people who win the PR wars because they're backed by a bunch of sycophants online.
It's true.
Joshua doesn't have nobody like these types of YouTube channels. I'm not gonna give him no free plugs.
78 Sports.
These people, right? You know who I'm talking about. Joshua don't have that in the UK, right? You don't have, those channels over there would prefer to use his name to bash him because it brings more views, right? So, he don't have that, and I don't know if he would even really engage in it. He just don't seem like a person who enjoys that type of stuff. He before he was signed like that. You know, I remember when he was doing like this interview in the car. I think
it was with IFL Coogan. I remember
in
it was
the
a
front,
Range Rover
in the back, and he just seemed wary of the camera. He didn't really like, he was very sharp with his answer, very measured. Even back then, that was the first time I knew of him.
Yeah,
I didn't even see his Olympic fights.
Right.
That interview was like, well, who's this person?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then I was like, okay, since that, he's just been kind of mistrustful of the media like that. You know, he'll do like maybe stuff he has to do, but he don't have no YouTube channels that are sycophantic to him.
No.
Like Wilder has, where these guys would do anything and say anything. You've had people who come out and blatantly say, "I would lie for Deontay Wilder." It's just like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
You know
I would die. They would die for him.
So that's all. Hey, Raphie, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go make this buy right over an essay tonight.
Just one last thing before you go, though, Con. Do you not think that Joshua appeals to people who value the truth and aren't really interested in the bullshit?
Yeah, but them people there, you see, John, them people there aren't very vocal like that. The people who are very vocal are the people who don't like him.
No,
Like,
I know. But then who's the real winner? Because on the Forbes list, Anthony Joshua is the only heavyweight there, isn't he?
That is true. But when you got people like Teddy Atlas and what's the baller, Tim Bradley saying, man, Anthony Joshua has never been beaten up like that in boxing. Oh, he need to retire. Deontay Wilder had blood running out of his ear, and he don't have to retire. So
the bias and the hate's real. I mean, there's no
but the people them it builds. Andre Ward, oh, he was too muscular. He slims down. No. When he was bigger, oh, he's just, he needs to stop looking like he wants to be an Instagram model, and he needs to get all that muscle off and learn how to box. He boxes against Ruiz. Oh, he ran around. It's Andre Ward. So when you have people voices like that, both in the biased YouTube community and people whose boxing opinions people respect, tend to get this stuff. You see, Anthony Joshua accomplished a lot more than a lot of these people, and they don't like it. They really, really dislike it.
For
right?
real.
Well, Cole Frutcher's got a whole YouTube channel predicated on this.
Yeah, man. TalkSport built their boxing platform off of disliking Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how it goes. I don't know how he's gonna win the PR, because it's more profitable for people to bash Anthony Joshua.
He can't win the PR war. And my argument is he should just not even engage and carry on doing what he's doing, because he's the one actually making the money.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes. Hey, brothers, I want to tell you, have a great evening,
Excellent.
You too, Con.
Excellent. Iron Kong. That's the Iron Kong.
Hey, by the way, John, did you read that book I emailed you?
I will do. I haven't got around to it yet.
All right, man.
It ties in with my degree, though, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to read it.
Well, I wanted to send you one from Morocco also. A guy from Morocco wrote one. But anyway.
Send them both, because I'll probably all get read at Christmas when I've got a bit of time on my hands.
All right, easy, brothers.
All right.
Okay, that was the Iron Kong 26. This guy's on channel. Be sure to check him out. Okay, and John D. Lee, that brings us nicely to the end of the show. Ask Rick. Rick didn't show today. Don't know what's happened, but he'll be here with us, no doubt, again next week. So I need to change the title of the show. But anyway, John D. Lee, your final words, please.
I'm really pleased to see a cross-promotional card. I think it's finally what we needed in boxing, and it's made me very optimistic about the future. On top of that, obviously today they've had the press conference for the undisputed fight.
Yeah,
So
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet, folks, so I haven't talked about it.
But the real point is we're getting the fights, Raph.
Yeah.
Which is good news.
It's very good news.
Those are my final thoughts. Thanks for having me on.
Excellente. And that was the John D. Lee. And before him, the Iron Kong 26. Hold on a second. Let me just write something down here. And share. Okay. So, where are we? There we go. Let's get that in the chat right there. Okay, so there you have it. What was the title of the show? The Day of Reckoning. Joshua, Wallin, Wilder, Parker, Dubois Miller. And I think we've covered all of those fights. Dubois Miller. Whew. That's a toss-up. I think Miller could edge it if Dubois needs to take it to him. And I think Frank Warren was right. He said this is the moment of truth. I call it the day of reckoning. Yeah, and it is a day of reckoning for Dubois because his cardio has to be up to par. Well, I think that's the number one thing. His cardio has to be up to par. He has to come into the fight in great cardiovascular condition because what we've seen of Miller is that he goes and goes and goes and he will outlast people. Even though not doing anything particularly spectacular, he will outlast people. So Dubois, number one attribute in this fight needs to be his cardiovascular fitness. That's numero uno. If he's not, Miller is going to edge him out on points. And maybe he could even knock Dubois out. OMG, how horrible would that be? So that's a toss-up. That's a toss-up. Wilderparker. This is going to be the litmus test. This fight is going to be the litmus test for Deontay Wilder. This is the fight where we are going to find out how good or how bad Deontay Wilder really is. We're going to find out. So the title is very appropriate. It's called The Day of Reckoning. Reckoning. The Day of Truth. When the truth gets revealed. And then we have Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin. What was I doing a second ago? How do I see that one going? Well, Otto Wallin, people are saying that Joshua should knock him out. Well, who's knocked him out? Nobody's knocked him out. The great Luke Fury couldn't do anything with him. And that fight should have been stopped in Otto's favor. Otto cut up Fury, nasty gashes on the eye, dangerous stuff. Fight should have been stopped. Because it was Luke, gave him a pass to say, yo, we got too much money invested in Luke. He has to win. He simply has to win. So they gave the decision to Luke. So Otto Wallin ain't no pushover, but I expect Joshua to win the fight on points. They say Joshua's got an issue with southpaw. Only one southpaw. That was Alexander Usyk. He won his title beating a southpaw in the form of Charles Martin. Beat him comfortably. So because he didn't beat Alexander Usyk, who's on some people's pound-for-pound list, certainly the best heavyweight southpaw in the game right about now. But Joshua's got to stop him to be legit. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But I think we've done it. Chopped it all up. I think Anthony Joshua wins that fight on points. If he stops him, that would be a bonus. But who stopped Otto Wallin? Nobody. So you can't expect that. That's an unreasonable expectation. That's what I'm saying. What are you saying? What are we saying? It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. And it is the hitting the icon. Stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget about the live show. Don't settle for cheap imitations. They're a mere figment of your imagination. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit all the good buttons. Look out for the live shows. Mondays. Wednesdays. Sometimes not Wednesday. Sometimes it's a Thursday. Like tonight. Around 9 to 9:15 p.m. UK time. So I think we've done it. Chopped it all up. And we'll speak. What's going on here? Tyson turning into his dad, John. Absolutely chocker-blocker. Full of it. And Alexandra Ilbus up in the building. AJ just needs a win. Yeah, but if he does it in style, if he does it looking good, that's even better. Okay. So that's it. 9 minutes to the witching hour over here. Dawkins Towers, Middle Earth. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and we are out. Blessed.